I don't really need them to pick my Wi-Fi times for me necessarily, which once again is pretty annoying. At my weaknesses, well, organisation and routine is one. Also, at offending people is one. I'm usually pretty aware that I'm going to do it. At another one of my another a debatable weakness is details. Like, I'm bad at remembering details, so I don't care about them. But I'm actually pretty good if I do care about details and facts. If I care about details and facts, I'm actually really, really good at remembering them, which is actually a pretty good skill to have, considering I'm really bad if I'm not interested in them. And to anyone who sees me on the outside, they probably think I'm some sort of unorganised person who doesn't take care of themselves with no common sense. But I think it's more just that even though I understand common sense, it's just not my top priority, and I do find my thoughts more interesting in doing, let's say, housework. Some so yeah, I'm being honest. I never really gave too much thought to just basic everyday needs, but I should probably try and improve that. Like, my parents tell me to have a shower a lot at an exact time, and it really annoys me that they tell me to have a shower at an exact time. That really irritates me too, I guess, because I want to have the freedom to have a shower literally whenever I want. It's pretty annoying that they don't allow that. I guess one of my philosophies in life is don't try and stand out, but don't try and fit in. So let's say you fit in. There's no. It annoys me when people try and stand out, just stand out. But at the same time, it annoys me when people try and fit in. Just be yourself, I guess. But if being yourself is fitting in, fit in. I guess that's one of my top philosophies. My brother, for example, is actually quite self-centered, which does annoy me a lot too. He does see things from his own perspective a lot, and I prefer him to think about how his see things from other people's perspectives too. So yeah, I have quite a high interest in politics. Like, I changed my mind a lot, but I think weed legalization would also be a good thing. More so for the freedom. I think people should have the freedom to be able to make decisions for themselves, such as being able to smoke weed. Whether it's a good thing or not, it's debatable. It's probably more subjective thing. It's good for some people, and it's not good for other people. But I'd say my three biggest hates in life, it'd be, well, two of them would be rules, probably say rules, routine, and religion. They all begin with R, funnily enough. R, 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 R. I mean, that's basically my code for the things I hate in life. Routine, rules, and religion. They just seem pointless, and I just don't care about them. I just don't see why people follow any of them. Like, my parents are very routine based, for example, and that can interfere the way we want to live life in very different ways to each other, which can interfere with how where we get along. And my social skills actually aren't too bad, but I can, like, they're not really that bad, but I'm definitely don't conform. I'm aware of social conventions and I do follow most of them. Well, no, I don't actually, but I don't know if I follow social conventions, but I'm definitely, have good, decent social skills. I'm definitely not the most sociable person. At the same time, it's same for the sociable person in the world. There are definitely more introverted people than me that exist. At My attention span, that's another major issue. I have no attention span at all. I can daydream about different. I can make up story like different. I daydream about loads of random stuff, and I'd rather do that than I would, let's say, focus on some random English lesson. That's pointless. For example, we also have issues with my mum with tidying my room. My mum really likes me to tidy my room because it makes her feel comfortable, and I don't like it telling. I just don't like want to tidy my room. I just like it's gonna be messy again later. So why would you want it to be tidy? It doesn't make sense to me. At I guess even though I do prefer reasons, I do have some values. I guess. At I do have a hard time like living in the here and now. I guess like I do have pretty bad awareness of my surroundings. Like, I drop milk on the floor without even realizing it, and I subconsciously just wipe it into the floor with my foot or something, which definitely isn't a good trait because it makes people think I lack common sense, which might be true, but I think I make up for it in other areas, possibly. I don't quite realize. I, so yeah, I think I do better there. Oh, God. Then I think if I'm like I think my main issue with like my house is just how many rule like when I'm a parent, I'm gonna give my kids more freedom than I'm currently getting. I'm gonna give it. I'm not gonna turn the Wi-Fi off. I'm not gonna be very authoritative towards them. I'm gonna let them live how they kind of want to. I give them the freedom to live how they want to, without having to have any authority like pushing down on them, because I don't really believe authority. Even though I will adjust for each one of my kids individually, like one of them clearly needs different treatment to the others. I do believe it's the best way to do it. I think it's good to know each person, individual personality, to know what's best to do near each of them. If you get what I mean. At generally fairly at I in the future I do kind of want to invent my new theories to psychology, because honestly that kind of excites me. Just the idea of doing these new theories, it really excites me. Just the whole idea of doing that, because theories excite me, I guess. I say in general, I do guess I guess excited by theories, like theories about mostly about topology. I find that very interesting. So yeah, I think I need to improve my organisation, because like it's a complete mess. You would realise that a terrible organisation. I cannot tidy my room. It's just not on my top list of my priorities. Tidying my room is just really irrelevant to me. To most people, to me, tidying my room is what most people is my thoughts have in my head are so to most people my thoughts in my head are what routine is to me, not as important. That I've never really followed routine that often, if I'm being honest. I guess that so I have a tough time sleeping, if I'm being honest. Like last night I was just walking up and down my house for 3 hours thinking about random things. That I said wait 20 seconds. Okay, so in my free time, I like to honestly troll on the internet. It's pretty fun, just seeing how people react to different trolls, I guess. I don't really know what type of music I like. Just guess. I think I do know actually, but I'm not going to say. What do I do in my free time? At I basically I like getting MBTI politics. Obviously I troll people like I just said. I sleep quite a lot, but not at the right times. I either will eat or I won't eat at all. Things like that. At I might have to talk to other people online quite a lot too. Might look into more MBTI systems. I find looking into different MBTI systems quite interesting, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's just what I find interesting, looking into different MBTI system. At I guess the highest points in my life are just when I like discussing my ideas with others. I'd say I find that quite a high point. Cause I really enjoyed talking about thinking of ideas inside my own head and discussing them and developing them with other people, like people who understand MBTI especially. Developing those ideas is actually really exciting. That's the first thing that came to my mind for that. And low points is just, honestly, online school was really difficult for me because had unlike real school, I had so many distractions and temptations around me, so I would get distracted so easily. Like I was fall asleep during the middle of the school day. It was a complete mess. I would get distracted by so many topics. I'd be searching up about some random theory about when how Elizabeth I was a boy. I was doing that 2 days ago, and it took me a little while to realise that it probably was it wasn't real. It took me quite a long time to realise that, I guess, too. So, but my lows are just generally when being controlled by others, I guess. At the end of the day, I really dislike that. My strength, I think my strengths, like my ideas, my logical thinking, maybe too, do definitely help me. I see patterns other people don't see. And often, like if I'm working out a question, they have to go step by step. I can often skip ahead, which is people are telling me that, which is a pretty unique ability. My memory is up and down. It's either really good about things I'm interested in, but it's terrible. Even the thing is, I can want to remember something, but unless I'm interested in it, I won't. But have your faults hindered you? Well, yes, I think. Honestly, a lot of my teachers at school treat me like I'm some sort of little teeny child who's really not that. Some useless little child. I feel pretty useless based on how my teachers teach me in school, which I really dislike. Well, if there was proof that God didn't, I'm just reading some different. I've got this page called conversation topics. So, if there was proof God, well, how would you get proof God didn't exist? Like, what if God was invisible? Like, I don't understand that. But okay, if God didn't exist, I'd just guess. I kind of wonder how the world, without a God, how the world got to be what it was. Because even if it wasn't God who started the world, something has got to start the world, I guess. And so if God didn't start the world, something else would have started. So if God didn't start the world, it's really interesting. What else would have started the world? If there was proof God did exist, I'd be interested to see what. I'd like to ask if I could speak to him. I'd like to ask him why so many bad things have happened. Like why were so many people poor? Why does climate change exist? Why is there discrimination against LGBTQ people? I would like to question him quite a lot. Let's go I assume it's better at creation and destruction. Well, we've created quite a lot, however, we definitely destruct a lot, and we definitely can be quite selfish at times. And we just we we sometimes don't appreciate what we've got, and I guess humans can do either. I think what's the best and worst part of human nature? The best part is just honestly the different the honestly the wide different personalities, but such a good wide range of people in this world. It's actually very good. So the worst part is, yes, there are some bad people. There's not very many. And what aspects of humans have made a successful species? Well, I'm say it's probably quite luck-based, but we probably just coincidentally happen to be more developed than most species. Like, and we just lucky. For what makes people believe absurd conspiracy theories, I guess maybe, well, it depends exactly how absurd. Are you talking about flat earthers than just delusions? But if you're talking about, I guess just not maybe being excited by the theory, rather than checking if it could be real or not. It was something terrifying if it all came to accept as a fact of life. That probably that we overestimate our own abilities at most things. I think I can overestimate how good I am and weaknesses, and even though I'm good at my strengths, I can overestimate how good I am. So I guess that's got to be something. If you had to sum up the whole human species in 3 words, words would it be? Well, it'd be 3 positive words. It's quite hard putting it in 3 words. I'd say, but it'd be three very positive words. Varied. I'll say fair. I've also found one word. I'll say varied. Evolved and developed. I'll say developed because we're more developed than other species. Evolved could be evolved from apes, and varied because there's so many different people in this world. It's amazing. What's the best way to explore human nature? I say psychology is my favourite, but I guess philosophy can work too. I'm not too biology. Yeah, I don't really care if I'm being honest. Is human nature constant or is it modelled by culture? Is human nature can be completely changed by culture or society? I guess it could be, as back in the day, cultures are very different in different parts of the world. I don't know all the details, but I know we're very different. Is what we perceive reality, or is it just what we construct our minds? Well, the thing is, if you ask someone how they perceive reality, they'll always say the same as you. But how do you know you're not imagining them saying the same as you? They could perceive me different to how I'm perceiving, how I think they are. Like, it's an creepy thing. I probably do exist, but am I myself? That's the question. I guess, I probably do exist, but my question would be more, am I myself? I guess, to that. Tribalism, us and them. Well, I guess back in the olden days, really far back, people did naturally form groups, people that aligned to and people they're similar to. So I guess I could have created that in modern society. How does tribalism of creating in groups and out groups, like race, religion, sport, team, fans, people with a hobby, help and hurt society? Well, I guess it can make some people with more out of their hobbies feel excluded from society, I guess. But at the same time, I think you will probably find some people something interests you. But I'm not really sure how it manifests in society. I guess some people can feel quite distant about it, which is pretty bad though. If you press a button meant you receive $5 million, but also killed 5 people somewhere in the world, will you press it? What if it only killed one person or killed 20 people? What if there were people you know? Okay, let's just answer this question from top to bottom. So $5 million is very tempting. The thing is, you could definitely save more than 5 lives with the money. Like, even with a million, you could save probably 20, 30 lives. So the answer is, honestly, for the good of everyone, even if it really hurt knowing that you would have to live with guilt that you killed someone, I guess, and your family, and you would have to deal knowing that you literally killed someone, and other families will blame on you. You have to live with quite a lot of guilt, but you can also live with the pride you saved even more people's lives. Like you saved like 15 plus people's lives possibly doing it. Or if it's only one person, I say yes, same as above. 20 people would be a lot harder with all factors considered. I'd probably still do it. There's people I knew. Well, I couldn't lie. I would definitely be slightly biased if it was people I knew. But I wouldn't want to admit it. So if there's people I knew, it says 20 people. What? No, I wouldn't trade £5 million to someone in my family. No, nothing about it. But it's a miracle that happens every day. I guess we could see us waking up. I don't think that's really a miracle. I'll say the fact we even exist in the first place is actually more of a miracle than that. The fact that this is even real. But what's the purpose in art in society? I'm honestly not that interested in art, but I think it allows people to express themselves in authentic, in different ways, in more creative ways, and I think that's a really good thing. What would the perfect city be like? Well, actually, in perfect city, it wouldn't be one thing. I think it'd be a mix of different things. Some of it would be more modern and futuristic, and that's the part I'd probably prefer myself. However, there's definitely some people that prefer traditional cities. I think we've got to keep everyone in mind while we're doing it. How important is freedom of the press to a healthy society? I guess freedom is very important. So yeah. What would be different if 9/11 terrorist attack never occurred? There'd be way less memes about it, way less people would joke about it. At there might still be more terrorist attacks today, I guess. Maybe it was the same thing would have happened like 10 years later or something. At some point, it's a very similar thing to the 9/11 terrorist attack probably would have happened. Should government make laws to protect people from hurting themselves? Well, that's a very difficult question. And I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, you don't want people to commit suicide, but this is my problem with this. If someone was to hurt themselves, even though they shouldn't, and then they don't die, then they get charged for it, they're just going to make them even more likely to kill themselves. It might make them less likely to try it in the first place. Most people, when contemplating suicide, one thing, it's a bit harsh to punish people anyway, but secondly, when contemplating suicide, all they care about is dying. Nothing else matters. Like, they've spent everything they've got in life already, so that might not seem that they probably won't, because 90% of them won't even consider that in the moment. And yeah, I just think, considering how many people attempt suicide when they're young, they should put more effort into helping people than they should put into that. Jesus, that's a terrible idea, actually, now I think about it. What's the most uplifting thing in the world happening right now? What's the most tragic thing? The most tragic thing is probably COVID-19, claiming those people's lives. The most uplifting thing, I guess, is how everyone, I don't even know, but how, I don't know, how can people with vastly different cultural backgrounds live together peacefully, and how? Well, yes, definitely, that's a stupid question. Of course they can. Will they? Not necessarily, but trust me, you're going to find families with like 7, 8 very different cultures in them. Somewhere in the world there'll be a family that has several different cultures in it, and they work perfectly. They might even enhance each other. They might even learn about new cultures, which, if anything, could be a positive thing. What does honour mean to you? I'm just reading questions from here. How important are morals in the health of society? Well, it depends what you consider morals, and I think basic morals, like don't do something against someone's will, for example. Well, generally anyway, should be in place. I don't think if you have a personal moral, you can't expect, like, being vegan, you can definitely not expect the majority of people to go along with that. You've got to be reasonable. If in the distant past, a person's life was very similar to grandparents and grandchild's lives, as it has a rapid pace of technological development changed society. Well, YouTube's the new TV. That's the first thing I say. YouTube's the new TV. Well, honestly, our habits aren't that much more unhealthy. I think the issue of the older generation is more the habits are new, more than unhealthy. Do you have an obligation to help others? Well, if I'm being honest, I don't help others too often unless I'm interested right now. So I don't really help others, if I'm being honest, even though I probably should, and I know that. Like, I don't anymore, but I used to have social anxiety and a fear of rejection. Another fear I also have is hypochondria. That's probably my biggest fear. Even though I'm really out and weird in my health habits. Like, it's really weird. It'd be a whole story to explain my health habits. What's the most important factors in maintaining a well-functioning society? Well, I guess, if good if everyone got along, I think that's an important factor. But also, I just think good government is very important. A bad government could ruin society. Should the government be involved with making laws to regulate moral behaviour? Probably the very basics, like, that are already in place, but they shouldn't be able to put their own personal morals. Like, you can have Trump come in and start forcing people to be religious, let's say. With the invention of the internet, I think internet's a very good invention, by the way. Some people wish they could go back to the 1985. That makes no sense to me, if I'm being perfectly honest. What's a year of life worth? I don't really know what a year of life's worth, and how about a day? Yeah, what's the purpose of human life? I guess, I think it's different. Well, I actually think my answer to that was different for different people. So the purpose for some people in human life is to help others. For some people, it's to invent new things. Some people, is to put the inventions into reality. Some people, it's to spot little details. And it's excellent that we've got such a wide range of skills in a society. As simple as that. If you die today, how would you be remembered? Probably some unorganised teenager who offended other people for fun. I'm joking. I hope I remembered quite good if I died today. I hope I would. I don't know for sure though how I'd be remembered. I'm being totally honest. Some people's lives are more valuable than others. Gonna be honest, and I hate to say this, but yes, some people's lives are more valuable than others. For example, would you kill a 2-year-old child or 40? Well, obviously you have murderers, psychopaths. Their lives aren't very valuable compared to everyone else's, for obvious reasons. But if you take that group of people out, I still think, like, would you have, what's more important? I know, I'm not saying I don't appreciate people who do the bins, but is doing the bins or working at McDonald's as important as someone who's working at Cancer Research UK? Just get your priorities straight. Some people are more important, like, than others. Like, it's the people in the government. The government is terrible. Who's more helpful? The government. Do we really want politicians, even though most of them are terrible today, they might be more important than someone else? I guess. How would you die? I don't know how I'd die. If I had started to die, I'd probably want to be surrounded by loved ones, I guess. If sacrificing your own life would save the life of a significant number of strangers, how many strangers would you need to be saved for you to sacrifice your own life? Good, that is a good question. I'm going to be honest here, even though I don't want to be selfish, I'm happy to somewhat selfish here, so I do value my own life quite a lot. But the reality is, if you're going to be saving thousands of other people, you have to. So I'd say, well, assuming they're strangers, I'd probably say 10 to 20. I know that sounds really selfish, but it's honestly what I probably need. But I'd die right now to cure cancer. What if the people were friends? Probably two maybe. A family. It's just difficult to answer these questions, honestly. They're really good questions, maybe two again. Maybe I'd even dive them straight away, I don't know. I don't know how to actually do in that situation. Is taking a life ever justified? When self-defense, yes. And there probably could be circumstances where it is. What are the pros and cons of colonising other planets? How could this help or hurt the human race? Well, the first problem could be if humans discover another species, and the other species is smarter than humans, then we discover them and they're smarter than us, they can easily take us down. Or at least take some of the, if they find out about us, that could be a problem. If we found out about them first. So, there's a very good chance, somewhere in the universe, there's a species that is more intelligent than humans. Yes, I said that. What's most likely to bring extinction to the human race? How can it be avoided? Climate change right now, but probably a combination of climate change, maybe the volcano erupted, possibly even an unlucky asteroid. And at some point the sun will obviously go in like 4 billion years' time. There'll be so many different things that could happen. I think we're coming to near the end of this video now. Will humanity continue to advance technology? This might be the last question. Will humanity continue to advance technology, or will we fall back to how we lived thousands of years ago, or fall back to further? Well, that is a scary thought, the idea that we could go back to living like, imagine if we did that again, we'd probably get a whole load of new religions. Like, what would happen? We'd get a whole load of new religions. Like, it almost feel like we'd restart as the species, humans. Humans would restart if that happened. We have probably new religions, knowingly, we have to redo all our medical work. Like, I wonder if there'd be any traces of these. Would we actually lose everything? Like, humanity would be struggling to survive almost, to be perfectly honest with you. Humanity really would be struggling to survive in this position if it actually got that far. So, that is a bad thought that could happen. So, technology, what was the question again? The thing is, advanced technology, it could go too far, and the advanced technology itself, it could actually backfire if we go too advanced. But, like, flying cars is a very tempting idea. I'm going to be honest here. Like, if we went back to living how we did 100 years ago, I think there's a few people that appreciate it for a simpler lifestyle. But, honestly, it's just not so fair to modern society. There's so many great things. Life is generally great. The modern generation feels like the first proper generation that's passed the old, like, think about it. Think about how many great-grandparents are racist. Not saying they all are racist today. I think about the current generation. There's been a clear transformation since the 1940s and 1950s through to about the 1980s of how humanity's been viewed in general. And it's probably the best it's ever been, to be honest. There's definitely fewer bad people than there's ever been. And I just think society's better than it's ever been before. Interestingly, I would say I'm quite logical. I feel like I've actually came across as quite emotional in this. I don't know, I haven't actually. I don't know. Either way, that's it for today's video. I'll see you guys. Well, you probably don't need to see me again, but anyway, that's it.